All right. Hello, everybody again. So what I want to do is probably try to finish up the health lodge. I want to add an awning. I want to finish the windows, and then I also want to put in a fireplace. So I have a material that I found online that I think is going to work really well for the fireplace. So let me see if I can find that. Um, okay, it's this one right here. So I want to use this one because the photos that I've found for the Health Lodge fireplace look like they match this style, at least for the interior. The exterior looks more darker, so maybe we'll have an inside and an outside because the outside is like, a little more weathered and has some bigger rocks on it, so uh we might actually use a different one, like one that's made of just rocks. Let's see if we can find that. So we have an inside one. And I already downloaded that. I'll show you what it looks like. But let's do an outside one that's literally just like stones that are put together. This is this is good, but it's a little too bright. Maybe this one. Yeah, that'll do. So let's do that one for the outside. Put it on 2K, download. Uh, yeah, so I don't want to open up SPSR. Actually, I want to open up the. Oh yeah, and I did rename the level to SPSR so that that's the one that I'm always going to. I had like duplicated these levels, and now I'm realizing I could just leave it as Speaker, and then if I need to make changes, I can always revert. Um, but the one that we're going to be going to is called Buildings. Buildings is going to have all of the uh, stuff for our buildings, of course. Okay, and it does look like this is the wrong one. Let me see where I thought it was buildings. Maybe it's in buildings. Yes. Okay. The real one is in the buildings folder, and then it's the file buildings. So this is it. Um, Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to drag in the admin building because that is something we started on. And I don't believe that I have a directory for the admin building. It's very possible that I built this building before I started doing that. So it's probably in levels. And yes, here it is. Admin building 2, maybe. Yeah, probably admin building 2. Let's actually bring it in. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, this is the one with the light. So this is probably the one that we want. What does the first admin building look like? Okay, that one also has a light. Oh, but the triangles? No, the triangles are done. I don't know, but I feel a little more comfortable with admin building 2. So let's put that like over here. And again, this is our level of just buildings that we're going to have. So we can view them all at once, and I can also ship this game, this mini game, so you can kind of go around and see the buildings. Okay. All right. So the fireplace, I actually already kind of got started. I'm gonna redo this, but this is what it looks like on the inside, which I think is pretty accurate with photo that we have here minus um, it may just be this mantle here and then it's on the outside instead of um, basically this tall um, column of rocks here. So it's very likely that it's just a square facade. You see this, how it's just a facade. Um, and then there's this like little pedestal up here on the front. This is a cool picture though. This was right after the fire, of course. And they were just burning some stuff. So they like were using the fireplace for real. Of course, the admin building was, or the health lodge was not there, so it's just smokestack and everything. So, all right, so we're gonna edit this a little bit. I might actually just redo it entirely. We're just gonna build a single facade here that basically sticks on the front of the wall, and then we'll build another set on the outside that's gonna be more of like an outside version or an outside piece connected. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna drag this over here on the side so that I can see it. And we downloaded this. This is our outside, and I believe I already have an indoor rock material. So buildings, health lodge. I don't think I moved it over. Let me go find it. Just be in materials. Nope, don't know where it went. Oh well, no worries. We're gonna call this. We're gonna build a new material. We're gonna call this health lodge fireplace indoor. And then we'll drag this into the Health Lodge materials folder. Oh, there it is. Okay, it is right there. So that's the Health Lodge fireplace. Um, let's rename this to Health Lodge fireplace outdoor because we already have basically one uh, that's going to function as our indoor material. All right, so the outdoor one, we're going to edit this. Let's go to details. And let's go to our downloads because we just downloaded the most recent rock wall. This is what we're going to use, so we have to extract it. Then we'll go into textures and our materials, and then we're going to import those that we just created. Okay. And now we just edit the texture map. So the rock wall is the albedo. And then we need to update the normal. Then I think there's an ORM, so we're going to put in the ORM for specular. Actually, I think I have an ORM. Yes, I do have an ORM, so I'm going to enable that. And we'll put ORM right in there. And then I also have a specular. Is it AO or is it DISP? Never sure. I think it's AO for specular. Yeah, that looks right. Okay, so that's our rock wall. Let's add a little more normal intensity just to give it a little more detail. I think that'll do. Might as well see what dirt looks like. That's good. We'll edit it if it looks kind of weird once we put it in the right next to the health lodge. Okay, so we'll save that material because we'll use that for the outdoor. And coming back to our health lodge, let me change my camera speed so I'm not zooming all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and delete this stack because that is not the one that we want. Okay, modeling, and we'll create a new box. And in this box, we're going to change the height to maybe 150, depth to 20, actually width to 20, and we'll leave the depth there at 100. So let's just put this in. Let's see what this looks like. And I'm going to delete this old one. Oh, we should probably break this apart. So I'm going to level break this level instance. That way we can edit every item individually. So I'll delete the existing. Oh, okay, it's still a group actor. Whoops. Cancel all. Let me find the group actor here. Actually, we might be able to just ungroup. Yep, there we go. Okay. So delete that fireplace. And you can find our block. Okay, we hit cancel, so we don't have a block. So we'll go back to modeling, create our box. So this is going to be the mantle, basically. Like I said, I have the fireplace picture open over here on the left, so I'm just get frame of reference. Okay, I think I want to change the height. Probably needs to be a little smaller, so let's see what 100 looks like. Maybe 120. And then let's open up the width. This kind of looks like a full square, so let's do 120 by 120. I think that looks pretty good. We still have to put a little hole in it for the actual fireplace. We may bump it up to 150. 150. Move this painting here in a sec, but yeah, I think this is good. I'm gonna accept this, and let me go ahead and move this painting. Don't want it to catch on fire. Okay, we'll just put that into the wall, like that, and we're gonna add another box, basically right over the top of that one. But the height is gonna be like 20. This is gonna be the base mantle bottom, like where the cinder blocks are. That might go up a little bit because I'll probably just drop it underground just a tad. Okay. So that'll be the mantle. And then I'll accept that. And what I'm going to do next is actually merge these. I think there should be just a slight overlap. And I'm going to move this just to the right, barely. So that I'm going to change my camera speed real quick. So I just moved that over barely. It looks like I need to go maybe one hair more to the right. Okay, I think that's lined up. All right. If there's just a little bit of an overlap, that's good. So I'm going to grab both of these. I'm going to go to model. No, X form. and I'm going to merge them so that they become one. I'm going to take the whole piece. I'm actually going to add some bevels. And to do that, we're going to do polygroup edit. We're going to select just the faces, I think, and then bevel. Oh no, not the faces, but the corner or the edges. So just the edges. And then we're going to bevel. And let's just add a very small bevel distance. Just very, very small. Maybe even smaller than that. Like maybe this. Let's try that. So it's not super pointy. It has just a little bit of a corner to it. Soften up those edges just a little bit, right? Because actual stone is not going to be, at least limestone, which is what this is not going to be like super sharp. It's probably going to wear on the edges a little bit. Because I'm pretty sure this is like a mix of limestone and sandstone probably. All right, so now that we have our item here, let's drop on our material that we made. So that's going to be combined. And let's also open details. And we have our material, which is the base grid world material. But we have a new Health Lodge fireplace indoor. And there we go. So we now have our fireplace. Now we need to cut a hole in the middle to basically be that actual fireplace. So we're going to click on our item. We're going to go to polycut. This is something we've done before. We're going to change this to a rectangle. And let's rotate this by 90. Height needs to be a lot less. And then we'll rotate this by 90. Okay, let's do 50, maybe 60, 5, 40, or maybe 45. Dang, okay. I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty center. And we have a little bit of a lip here, which is what we want. Okay, there's our inside fireplace. I don't think we need to do much more here. If anything, I would add some like more limestone blocks, like right on the edge. Let me show you what I mean. Like down here on this lip right here. Looks like those are very fine masoned blocks of limestone. And so I think what I might do is go find limestone because I really want that to pop. It's going to look a lot more realistic. So let's go find rock, search limestone. Okay, doesn't like limestone. We might not find what we want here. We need like smooth rock. We could use this rock and then lighten it up a little bit. It actually looks pretty good. And just lighten it up. Let's look at the fab, see if we have a lighter rock as well, because we don't just have to use polyhaven. We can use the fab. So limestone. I need a good limestone because we have to make the scout law as well, which of course is the limestone fence posts that are what you see on your way into camp. All right. Well, we're not going to find exactly what we want there. So let me use this smooth rock here because this is pretty accurate. We can lighten it up a little bit with our base material. Then we'll probably import it into the Health Lodge base materials. So let me extract it. And then import. Then I'm going to duplicate and call this limestone, fireplace limestone, Health Lodge, fireplace, limestone. And then we'll just update the rock albedo. Normal. And the ORM. And the specular. All right, so let's add albedo tint, make it look more limestoney. Brighten it up, make it look more like limestone. It's looking a little better. Uh, yeah, feel pretty good about that. Let's save that. And let's actually make little blocks here that will put that texture on, that material on. So let's change this to 10, maybe 7. Width will go 7. Actually, let's do 15 for that, and then the height will be 7. Yeah, it looks like those are laying left to right. So let's move this block left to right. And it's just 4 of them laying lengthwise this way. And it's not going into the rock at all, they're just laying down. Chances are it's actually the base of the fireplace, right? And it's just like going out. So let's actually make the depth a little bit further back, and we'll do like 15 for that, maybe 30. We'll just put 4 blocks out. But we need to know how far this is. Uh, go find the health lodge wherever it's at. There it is. Where'd it go? I need to measure. I need to measure that. Because I want to only do four of them, but I can resize it. It's not the end of the world. All right, so let's drag four of them over. Yeah, we may actually be pretty close here. Dang, it's pretty good. Okay, we'll resize one of them. No worries. We probably also want to cut a hole in this wall because we want to extend this fireplace out just a little bit. So I'm going to check out what this mesh is, and it looks like it's just a wall 400 by 300. So we need to use the technique that I had used a while ago, which was I need to build a specific wall for this hole, otherwise it's going to cause some problems. So I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to call this Health Lodge Fireplace. And then if I click on this wall, I can go to replace selected actor with the Health Lodge Fireplace. And you just need to add our texture material back onto there. Okay, so now we have a wall that's separate from all these other walls. And we're going to go ahead and poly cut this one. Take that by 90, take that by 90, and we'll cut our hole. I can find like that. There we go. Okay. And what's nice about this is we already have the right size, because it's going to retain that size of the other hole that we made. So let's accept that. And there we go. I'm realizing I should probably edit these boards too. We'll do that in a sec. I'm going to go ahead and apply our material limestone to this block. That is a bright block. Let me darken it up a little bit. So I'm going to darken it up here with brightness. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit so that it matches a little more with this wall. Kind of blends in. I think let's go a little brighter. About like that. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to also add some bevels to this because, again, it's very fine cut masonry, but it's still going to not be like exactly sharp edges like what we see here. So polygroup edit. Just going to grab the edges. We hit bevel, and let's do one is the bevel distance. We'll accept that and see that smooths out the edge a little more and makes it look a little more believable. All right, so then we just add these one by one, and this is essentially the floor, base floor of the fireplace. Stretch this one. There we go. Okay, so now we need to edit these planks. So I'm actually just going to shorten this up till I see daylight. I'll do it to this one too. And looks like this one as well. All right, and then let's extend these out. Might be too much, but it's going to be kind of a deep fireplace. Cool. Yeah, it's looking great. I like that. Wonder if we have logs. It'd be cool to put like fireplace logs or like an actual fire. Let's see if the fab has like an actual fireplace fire. Like burning logs. We'll just do wooden log. And I want to place that into the fireplace just because I want to add a little more character to this room. Let's bring this down a little bit. It's a little bit too big. And I'm going to duplicate this, rotate it, rotate it, make it look just a little bit smaller. This one's actually huge. Let me make this a little smaller too. Do one more. And I just want to place this. And something like that. Okay. All right, so now we need a big block for the outside. What happened here? That is weird. Okay, so I'll edit this wall here in a sec. But let's first make the outside fireplace. So let's reference our picture again. Basically what we're building is this back piece that kind of comes over the top and then just shoots straight up. And it kind of narrows a little bit. I have another picture that shows it looks like it's narrowing. Here it is. Like it kind of looks like it has a little bit of a narrowing to it. What's interesting is this chimney doesn't have, a smokestack on it like this one does. So they must have added that later. So we'll do this one, I think. We won't put a smokestack on it. But yeah, we'll just make it kind of continue on from that and go straight up till it peaks out the top by, a couple feet. So we need another box. Let's go to create and put a box down. And this height is going to be, rotate this by 90. That one. It's the red. There we go. So we'll bump this up. Like right there, maybe. See how far above the roof it goes. So by this angle, it kind of seems like it's not quite over the roof. It might be the same height as the roof. So let's just use that as a guide. We'll just make this where it's right around the same height as the roof. Like right there. And then let's make the base about like that. Let's add some more depth. Let's squish it in. And it is going to probably overtake that, uh, which is fine. So we can move it back to where it's inside the wall. And in fact, we want this fireplace to kind of be the center, right? We want this to have pretty deep, yeah, pretty deep fireplace here. Now I'm like wondering if I should cut this. Oh, this should go way further down. For some reason this went up. So I'm wondering if I should actually cut a hole to make the chimney. Be an interesting choice, but we'll see. All right, that goes to the floor because that's going to be underground just barely. Now, does this go far enough? No, it doesn't. So I need to redo the height on that. We'll go there. And then let's just make sure this is far enough in. Honestly, we could probably go a little further back. Oh yeah, for sure, because we have a little bit of overlap with the wood there. We'll go back here. Or I'll make another box maybe, or like a couple boxes on the outside. Yeah, I can massage this how I want, but we'll accept that. And then let's go ahead and drop our material onto it. This is going to be SPSR content, Health Lodge, materials, Health Lodge outdoor, fireplace. And those rocks are way too big. And I also want to add some bevels, just like we did with our um, other stuff. Also grab that. Yeah, just keep those bevels just to soften up the edges. I'm going to change the tiling here because this is a little bit too big. Let's go to like 2. Okay, 2 makes it bigger. Need to remember that. So 0.5, 5. That's a little better. Let's add some rotation so that we have a little more variability here. That looks pretty random. Seems just a little bit too thick, doesn't it? Let's thin it up just a bit. Means we'll have to move it in. Got it there. All right, and I think I'm gonna add a little more normal. Make it look very, very rough. In fact, I think I can add some more contrast, maybe. There we go. That makes it look a little darker, a little rougher. And then add some saturation. Okay. I think that's good. Let's update the wall here. These planks here. Probably just gonna drag this down and get rid of these other ones. Well, hold on. What might be better is um, just to have a little bit of intersection here, and then I will duplicate it and then move it to the other side. So let's just throw that in there. Yep, that's good. Let's put that there. Do the same with this one and this one. And all 3 of them are going to change their size. Go to the end. And this one will do a little more fine grain. There we go. Okay, let's play that. And let's see what it looks like. It's just a big rectangle. I'm going to add a little more contour to it so it looks a little better. Yeah, that looks great. Pretty good fireplace. Might be just a tad small, but that's okay. Um, Let's see. I think that's fine. Let's duplicate these though, because I just wanna hide some of this wood here. Obviously you wouldn't have like wood exposed. So I'm just gonna basically do this. So that it looks a little more appropriate. And we're just going to clean up that area there. Perfect. I think that looks much more believable. In fact, let's do one more. And we're going to put this on the top. This is going to look so good. And let's just make it a little bit longer so that we can use one. We can use one block. Okay. Move it into place. Nice. We'll we'll maybe remove a little bit of the wood there, but that's a good first pass. That'll pass as a fireplace. Now, I want to add a little contour up here so that it has a little more character. So basically, like, kind of at the top, we're going to add just a little slight inward bend, which I know in this photo it looks very straight, but I think there's going to be just a very small contour here that's going to be really important for character. So we'll go like right here, I think, and we'll just give it a slight bend. So to do this, I have done some research and I figured out how to do this. So we'll go to our modeling mode. We will go to polygroup edit and we'll grab our lines here. And we're going to try to look at this square on where we want the line to be. So like right there probably. And then I'm going to click insert edge. I'm basically going to just click where I want the edge to be. Let me hit done. We can see added an edge there. But we wanted to do it on all sides. So let me see. Insert edge loop. Let's try that. Yeah, here we go. So this is going to give us an edge around every side, and it's all going to be the same size, which is amazing. That's so cool. All right, we'll go back to polygroup edit, and we're going to go up to these corners. We're going to switch to our corner selection. We're going to grab these four corners. And then what we do from here is we actually just drag these inward a little bit. You see that? Gives us the ability to kind of create this little chute up here, which gives it a lot more character. And we'll just do those two axes. Hit save. We can see now it has just a slight contour, and you're going to be able to see this contour from a mile away, and it's going to look pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Let's change my camera speed. So I'm going to zoom away, see what this looks like. Yeah, that's great. See that contour really shows up now. You can see the human eye is really good at seeing this contour. It's just barely got, a little bit of a pyramid, point to it. So that's excellent. I've kind of been thinking about this health lodge, and it seems a little wide this way. I feel like it should be cinched up just a little bit. If we look at this photo here, we can see that it does look pretty like short in this direction. And looking at this health lodge, it looks so wide. So that's something I might keep in mind for a future project, is just to make this health lodge just slightly smaller. All right, let's add windows and then awning, and then we'll be done for today. So I'm gonna grab this window, and we're just gonna put this over here. And we'll have to resize it, of course. Okay. And resize in this direction. Then we'll move it around. Bring it out ever so slightly. Okay, we'll keep that. Let's drag it over this way. And do the same thing here. Okay, and then one more. This should be the last window. I like how all these windows are a little bit different size. I think it adds character. And unless we have the exact dimensions somehow through like blueprints that we could acquire, I don't know if we'd be able to make this as exact as the real world was. All right, last window is done. Okay, let's add the awning. Before that, though, I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. Did a whole bunch of yard work today, so I'm parched. Okay, so awning is, we have a few angles, is made of metal. Uh, so we probably want like a dark metal of some kind, like a red. Looks like the red. The top is red. We have 5 pillars, and then it's just attached to the front here. We also want a cement like step here. And then we had a couple benches or like picnic tables, and then benches up front. So that's what it looks like. Um, Looks like the cement kind of droops down just slightly this way. We also need the first aid sign, so we'll do that at some point, and then this electrical box here, we'll add that as well. So let's go ahead and do the awning, and then I'll be done for tonight. So let's go ahead and add a new model. And we want box. Let's get this on its side. And then let's change the width to maybe 5. And let's make sure we're the right distance. Let's add some height. Oh, that's as high as I can go. Huh. 1,000 is the most. Interesting. What about this one? That's also, you can only do 1,000 by 1,000. It's news to me. No worries, we can always edit it afterwards. So let's just make this a little bit wider. It's probably pretty wide. Let's just do this. Don't really know. It wasn't too wide, but it wasn't like too narrow. It was really just right. So let's do that. It's up here. And of course, it has just a slight slant. So accept that. We'll just give it a very slight slant rotation. Wrong one. Blue one? Yeah. So rotate this way. That's only green, so that's weird. Okay, we'll rotate this way. I think that's good. Good slant amount. It's 4% or 4 degrees, which I might be able to calculate this with a ruler protractor, but it's probably going to be a little inaccurate. Okay, let's go ahead and make sure this is long enough. So we'll line this up pretty much there. And just make this a little longer. And is there any bit of overhang? Nope, it's pretty in line there, so we'll do that. All right, I think I want to do the painted metal roof. So I might have to search for this, but let's do painted corrugated sheets. That's it. So these things are great, but I want to make this red, which I think is very possible. So I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to call this Health Lodge awning, and we're going to throw that into SPSR content. And then within SPSR content, we're going to put it in the Health Lodge materials. All right. So let's go ahead and throw that material on there. And first thing is tiling's going the wrong way. So we're going to have to update that. Which means we're going to have to redo this. Luckily we have our textures. So let's move these. We're going to actually duplicate, and then our duplicates, we're going to move into our Health Lodge folder. Duplicates go into the Materials Health Lodge folder. And there they are right here. So with that, we're going to duplicate. Let's go get rid of that because we don't want that. We're going to duplicate this limestone, and we're going to call this Health Lodge awning. And then this is the material we'll edit. All right, so I'm just going to edit here on my other screen, but we're going to drop the albedo, update the normal. There we go. And we'll update the ORM. And we'll get rid of specular because we don't have that. We'll add a base specular. Okay. This way we can actually change the rotation to 90 degrees so that our tiling actually works appropriately. And then same thing, we will change our V tiling here. Sorry, our U tiling. Let's change the V tiling back. 1. We'll change the U tiling here so that these are more numerous. Something like that, maybe. Let's look at our picture. Maybe just slightly less. Great. I like that. And then we want to basically make this red, like dark red. So I have this tint here. So let me go to red. Let me darken it up. I think that'll do it. This is so cool. I love material. I love working with materials. It's really fun for me. I'm going to add just a little bit of dirt Nothing too crazy. Just give it a little bit of dirt. Nothing too much. I think that'll do. All right, cool. Now we need some posts. So let's just remind ourselves what these posts look like. We have one here, here, here. So it's actually seven total, and there might have been some inside, but I don't really see them. So looks like we have these like 90-degree struts, like little support fins going 180 here and 90 degrees there. So let's see if we can build these real quick. We're going to do it with our model. We're going to add our cylinder. And of course, it's not that thick, so we're going to shorten up this radius to maybe 3. Add some height. And let's add a little more height to it, maybe 145. 250 rather. Let's do 260. And then go down. That's perfect. And we'll put it right in the corner. Right there. Nice, that looks cool. And we might have a little bit of overlap with the ground, which is perfect because we're going to put a cement pad down too. So let's accept that. And we're going to use our flagpole material. Flagpole metal. Let's just drop it on there. We'll use that for now. We might have to use a different one if that looks too bright. But now we're just going to build a little triangle. And I don't see triangle option. So maybe we can get away with a cone, but then make the cone like really flat. Basically like that. If we add our flagpole metal, put this right where it intersects, rotate this by 90, or 180 rather. Does this look believable as like a little support? Yeah, maybe so. I have to just update this a little more. Something like that. Maybe make it even thinner. Yeah, that's actually great. Okay, so we have our piece. Now we just have to put it all together now. So we'll make sure it's center. That looks good. That looks good. All right, cool. So let us grab this. We're going to actually duplicate that because we might want it later. And we're going to do the same with this. What I'm going to do is actually combine these meshes. Go to modeling. Go to Xform, merge. And then I'm going to take this and rotate it 90. Oh, whoops. Looks like I accidentally added those other ones. I definitely don't want that. I just want that to be merged. And then let's rotate that 90. And then duplicate that. Duplicate that. I think there was 5 in the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And let me speed up my camera. Okay. And then this one, we'll duplicate this way. And we need to make this just a little bit taller. And then we'll rotate 90. And bring it in just a little bit. Right there. Nice. Do the same over here. So we'll just drag this. Put it right there. And I should probably cut those just to make them look a little better. I need to cut basically that triangle off on one half. But that's why I added these pieces here so that I can cut it and reuse it. All right, let's put a cement pad down and then we will be done for today. So we're going to use our awesome box. Okay. That looks good. Accept that. Raise that up just a little bit so that there's just a slight lip. Go like right there. That's good. That's really good. Okay, and then let's just make this a little bit longer. And then we'll also scale it out this way. A little bit too much. Just a tad more. And replace, translate. Okay, that looks good. That seems reasonable. That post looks good. Just want to make sure all the posts are fine. Okay, excellent. We might already have cement floor, but it could be in the handicraft lodge. Let's go look in the handicraft lodge. Cement floor. I don't see it, so it's probably in the base materials of the SPSR content. I don't see that there either. Hmm. Yeah, I could have sworn I had uh, some cement, but let's see if Polyhaven has some cement or concrete. I think is what it is. We need like smooth concrete floor or something. Let's see, plaster concrete. Here we go. Concrete wall, floor, floor. Floor worn. That would be good. Plastered wall, granular concrete. Ooh, that looks very accurate. I'm gonna do that one. I like that one. So the granular concrete is what we're gonna use. So let's wait for this to download. All right, cool. So we'll extract that. And then go to Health Lodge, materials, and then import that here. And then let's update maybe this one. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, that is an old material. This one is the new one, so I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna duplicate it. And I'm gonna call this Health Lodge Patio Floor. Okay, and then I have it open here on my other screen, so let's go find the granular concrete and update that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this down so that we can see it. Lodge floor patio, drop that on there. All right, so that's what it looks like. Let me go ahead and make some changes here. So I got the albedo. Let's add the normal. And then do I have an ORM? An ARM, that might work. And then we also need a specular. I think I have a specular. This one. Okay, so that is way too granular. And we are also way too bright on the tint. So remove the tint. Change the brightness back to 1. And all these back to 1. And change the albedo tint. And then offset is going to be 1. All right, so tiling is what we need to update. Change the normal. Well, okay, so tiling is really what the problem is here because we need this to be very, very small. So let's go 0.5. Maybe even more, 0.2. It's a little more believable. Let's even try 0.1. That's a little better. Cool. That's pretty believable. All right. So I think this is good for now. Um, I'll clean up these like posts as well. I'll cut these out maybe on my own time. But let's just do a quick comparison. Watch that. Yeah, I don't think we're too far off. Really liking it. The awning could be a little shorter maybe, but things are really coming together for the Health Lodge. We have probably the most detail out of any building so far. So, all right. Well, thanks for sticking with me. Of course, this will be on YouTube as well, so feel free to watch this again, or if you see some details you want to go back and check out, let me know. But it's been fun little by little. See you guys later.